Apologize for those of you in Facebook. This is not the title of this talk, but I forgot to update the title before I went live. What do I want to ask a question today? When we criticize, what is it really saying about us? And what we criticize says more about us than it does about the thing we're criticizing, right? And I've been watching this recently play out in different ways in my own life and in other people's lives, where there's different things that maybe I criticize. Hi, Jay. And then I have to shine a light and be like, wow, okay, what am I criticizing now? What is that saying about me or about my values or, things that maybe trigger me, right? So good to see you, Jay. And then watching also other people's criticisms of things, of books, of projects, of stuff like that, right? And what does that say about them? Like some people think it's really clever to criticize, but they don't understand. Maybe they didn't read the book or they didn't watch the TEDx talk or whatever, and they're criticizing something superficial. For instance, if somebody puts something out there and somebody just wants to like throw out and criticize the title. Okay, well, they didn't read the book. They don't understand maybe why the title is there or what it means or what's going on with the title. They just decide, oh, I'm going to criticize the title, right? This is the whole exact thing about judging the book by its cover. See? And how often does that happen that we think that we're clever by doing that, right? Oh, I don't know. Or whatever else it is. Jay says, how are you after a long time? Yes, I haven't been going live on time, so you haven't been able to get on it. I have been going live, but I haven't been going live on time. But I am on my way home, so soon I will have my setup and my schedule. I'll be back on schedule, and it'll be good. Hey, Hannah. So for instance, when I did my TEDx talk, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's called Faith Jones, I Own Me. When I did my TEDx talk, there was a lot of people that commented, and most people's comments were about the talk, right? Most people's comments were, agreeing with it or, understanding, they'd also experienced subjugation, understanding property rights, understanding self-ownership, right? So they were very much on topic. But then there were quite a few people whose comments were about my jacket. Okay. And they were like, oh, and they were making negative comments about my jacket. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, this was my first time to like do a filmed, like televised talk. And maybe I didn't pick the right jacket exactly for that talk. I didn't know it was going to look like that. I didn't film myself beforehand. But, so I was just like, okay, well, whatever, that's fine. It didn't really bother me that much. But what was interesting was that I think that the people who commented on the jacket, it was really saying a lot more about them than it was about the jacket or about my talk, right? Because they were looking at something so superficial and so extraneous to the whole thing. It's like, here I'm talking about child abuse. I'm talking about rape. I'm talking about, subjugation in society of women, of cults, of communism, of, our primary rights in our body, ownership, the whole fight against sexual harassment and, just incredibly, deep and powerful topics. I'm showing people the framework for how we can reorganize our lives and society and get actual clarity on how to have conversations about these really difficult topics. I'm giving people the words and the language to use. I'm teaching them like a legal framework for how to think about themselves, their body, their actions, their relationships, right? It's something that's never been done before. And here people are talking about like my jacket. Okay. So when you see that, you're like, okay, wow. So that says actually a lot more about that person than it does about me or about my choice in my jacket. You see, it tells a lot more about where their head is at, what they are able to comprehend or understand, where what they are reacting to, right? Maybe the topic was too uncomfortable for them to speak about that, Or maybe they're just looking superficially at something and they just want something that they can make a quick superficial comment on. Who knows, right? But I think it definitely says more about that, right? So, yeah, so just when you see people that are trolling, that are criticizing, I often look at their comments and I think, wow, what's really going on in that person's life that they feel the need to do that? And sometimes I feel more sorry for them. Hey, Jose. Hi. Hey, Arshita. Good to see you. Hey, girl. Sometimes I feel, yay, thank you for the hearts. I know it's been a while. I'll be home soon, so I'll be back on schedule. Just like, and when you put something out there, when you want to criticize, when you want to put out like a negative review or something, think about it first. Just pause for a minute, right? I think so often we just kind of, on the internet, it's just like people just think they can just throw up all over everything, and just plaster all this negativity and stuff all over the place, when in fact, when I read that someone has written, it tells me a lot more about where that person is at in their head, what's going on in their space, right? How much negativity they're living with, or possibly how much hurt, how hurt they must be, or how they must not have really gotten the healing or recovery they need to be still living in this super negative place where they are trying to get validation from attacking other people, right? And not talking about the core thing, not like going in and saying, I disagree with this premise and this is why, right? Not really digging into the meat of it, but just sort of sending out these superficial, in the law we call them ad hominem attacks. It means they have nothing to do with the real meat or logic of the argument. We're just attacking, like, I don't like the way they look, right? It just has nothing to do with the point of what the conversation is about or the point of the argument. And that's what we see so much in today, right? And when I see that, I'm like, wow, that person must feel really bad about themselves to feel the need to like attack someone else for how they look, right? Or what they're wearing, or, to make catty comments about something superficial when this person is pouring out their heart about, their deep personal experiences. So instead of going and saying, okay, I think this argument was wrong because of this, this, and this, you see? So we should check ourselves, and I feel like I have to check myself. Sometimes I make catty comments. I'm like, oh, what's this or whatever, and I don't make it to a person. I might just make it like in passing, like driving by a building or something that I don't like, and my partner reminds me, is like, hey, just, don't, even though maybe nobody will hear that comment, right, that I make some derogatory comment about some building, right, like, where is that coming from? Why do I feel the need to criticize? And so just thinking about that for myself and for other people and for how we interact. Harshita says, day by day you become more beautiful. How are you? Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I am doing well. I am doing well, especially doing well because I'm heading home and I miss my apartment. And it'll be good to get back on schedule and get back onto eating a more healthy diet, because when you're on the road driving all the time, oftentimes, you got to stop off at a fast food place to get food. So that has not been great for my for my physique. So so I'm going to have to get to work eating more healthy and exercising more regularly instead. That's going to be my commitment going forward. So I will see you guys soon. I will try to be on time tomorrow. We'll see. Like, it's the last few days of driving. But I hope to see you all soon. And thank you for coming on. It's so good to see you, Harshita, Jay, everybody. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Fantastic weekend. Woohoo! I can't even remember it's Saturday. I'm so mixed up and lost with days. But all right. Have a great weekend. Bye.